CSS units are used to set sizes for things like width, height, padding, margin, and more. For example, you might use pixels to set the size of an icon. In CSS, there are two main types of units: absolute and relative. Absolute units, like px, pt, cm, and mm, have fixed values and don't change, no matter the screen size. Relative units, like %, em, rem, vw, and vh, are based on other values, such as font size or the size of the screen. You'll often see px used because it's simple: 1 px equals 1 dot on the screen. But in modern web design, relative units are more useful because they help create responsive websites that look good on all screen sizes. Let's understand the difference between pixels and percentages in CSS. The first box uses width 50%, which means it takes up half the width of its parent. The second box uses width 100 pixel, which means it has a fixed size. Below the line, both boxes are inside a parent div that is 500 pixel wide. So inside the parent, the 50% box becomes 250 pixel wide, while the 100 pixel box stays 100 pixel wide. This shows that percentage units are flexible, while pixel units stay the same, no matter the parent size. Now, if we change the parent's width, the 50% box will automatically resize to stay half of the new width. Also, if we change the percentage from 50% to 80%, the box will grow to 80% of the parent's width. This makes percentage units great for responsive layouts because they adjust based on the parent container. Let's understand the difference between fixed units and responsive units in CSS. First, I'll set the card width to 600 pixel and remove the browser's default margin and padding. My monitor is a 2K display with a width of 2048 pixels. If I set the card's width to 2048 pixels, it stretches across the whole screen, but a horizontal scroll bar appears. That's likely because of the border. To fix this, I'll add box sizing : border box. Now the scroll bar is gone. When I inspect the element, I can see the width is exactly 2048 pixels. This shows that pixel values are fixed, no matter the screen. But on a smaller screen like a 1080p monitor, which is 1920 pixel wide, the layout breaks. That's the problem with using fixed units like pixel. Now, let's talk about VW and VH units. To make the layout responsive, we can use VW. For example, setting width. 100 viewport width means the element will take up 100% of the screen width, no matter the device. This makes the layout flexible and ensures it works well on all screen sizes. When you resize the screen, the card automatically adjusts and fits nicely on all screen sizes. If we increase the viewport width, a horizontal scroll bar might appear. To fix this, we'll set the card's width to 80 viewport widths. Now you can see that the card automatically adjusts its width based on the screen size. Often you may also want to center the card to make the layout look better and more balanced. In this example, I'll set the margin to 20 pixel auto. That means 20 pixel on the top and bottom, and auto on the left and right. This helps to center the element horizontally and adds some space above and below. As you can see, the div is now centered on the page. If you inspect it using the box model, you'll see 20 pixel margin on the top and bottom, auto margin on the left and right. Just keep in mind, margin auto only works on block level elements. If the element is in line, it won't get centered. Now, I want to explain VH. I'll create a new container and add a paragraph inside it. I'll apply the same styles to this container that we used earlier. As you can see, the container is responsive and its width changes based on the screen size. If I want the container's height to be 50% of the screen, I'll use height:50 VH. VH stands for viewport height. As you can see, the container now takes up half of the screen's height and is fully responsive. Right now, the card inside the container is not responsive in height, but the container is. So next, I'll set the card's height to 30 viewport heights. Now both the card and the container have responsive heights. That's why VH and VW are very useful units in CSS. We still use pixels, but for responsive layouts, VH and VW are much better. Now let's talk about two important CSS units, em and rem. Imagine we have a container with a default font size of 16 pixels. If we don't set a font size for the paragraph inside it, the paragraph will inherit the same 16 pixel size. Now, if we set the paragraph's font size to 1 em, it will still be 16 pixels, because 1 em means 100% of the parent's font size. You can check this in the Computed tab. Both the container and the paragraph will show 16 pixels. Next, if we change the container's font size to 20 pixels, and the paragraph still uses 1 em, then the paragraph's font size becomes 20 pixels. That's because em is always relative to its parent's font size. Now, if we change the paragraph's font size to 2em, it becomes twice the parent's size. So, if the container is 20 pixels, the paragraph becomes 40 pixels, 2 times 20 pixels. Again, in the Computed tab, the container shows 20 pixels. The paragraph shows 40 pixels. This clearly shows that em scales based on the parent's font size. Now I'll remove the parent's font size, and the paragraph's font size becomes 32 pixels. This happens because the default browser font size is 16 pixels, and the paragraph uses 2 ems, which means 2 times 16 equals 32 pixels. Next, let's talk about rem, which stands for root element. I'll set the root, HTML font size to 12 pixels. Now, all elements like the card will inherit 12 pixels from the root. If I set the paragraph's font size to 2 rem, it becomes 24 pixels, 2 times 12. Then, if I change it to 3 rem, the font size becomes 36 px, 12 times 3. Now, even if I change the parent's font size to 20 pixels, the paragraph still stays 36 pixels, not 40 pixels. That's because we're using rem, not em. Rem is always based on the root, not on the parent. So remember, em is relative to the parent. Rem is relative to the root. Let's talk about two useful CSS units, vmin and vmax. Vmin stands for viewport minimum. Vmax stands for viewport maximum. Vmin means the smaller value between the screen's width and height. Vmax means the larger value between the two. For example, on a phone, the height is usually more than the width, so vmin becomes the width. On a desktop, the width is more, so vmin becomes the height. If you set a container's width to 100 vmin, it will take up 100% of the smaller side of the screen. This makes your layout responsive to different screen sizes and shapes. On this device, vmin is equal to the height, so it works just like vh. If I set the container's width to 100 vmin, it behaves the same as 100 vh. When I inspect and change vmin to vh, there's no visible difference in the container. Now, if you want something that adjusts between vh on phones and vw on desktops, you can use vmax. For example, if you set the container's width to 100 vmax, it acts like 100 vw on this device. Again, changing vmax to vw doesn't make a difference here. So even though vmin and vmax aren't used as often, they can be very helpful for making responsive and adaptive layouts that work well on any screen.